Hello, hello, hello. So I'm doing this brief lunch live here again because this is pretty insane. We're going to quickly talk about the Sam Nordquist trial. Not even a trial yet. The indictment was just released for Sam Nordquist, and this case is actually pretty substantial to me because it is right near where I live. So let's get going. So I don't even know where to start. Hey, pointer lover. So if you don't know anything about Sam Nordquist, we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna give you a rundown. So let's start at the beginning. So Sam was a transgender male who got caught up with online. He started dating somebody by the name of, I can never say her last name, Precious Arzuaga. I don't know how to say the last name. So he came from Minnesota in September, early September, I believe, in order to meet up with Precious here in Canandaigua, New York. Next up, what happened was Sam was supposed to come home at, I believe it was October 12th, around that time, with 12th or 13th, one of those days. And Sam did not fly home. This was very unlike Sam and Sam's sister and mom. Linda's his mom, Kayla's his sister, got extremely worried that Sam hadn't come home yet. So what happened next was this continued to go on. They weren't hearing from Sam. They were seeing some TikTok videos of Sam and Precious. And I want to share my screen just to kind of give you an idea of who Sam is, as well as an idea of the people that were indicted today for the many hideous crimes that have come to light. So here's Sam, kind of an image of who Sam was. And now let's go to the people that are actually that are being charged with these. So there's actually 7 people that are being charged with her murder. So let's fast forward to January. Sam begins to experience a pattern of abuse. Now, according to law enforcement, the abuse actually did not start, to what they can tell, whether or not this is the case, January 1st, 2025. And it actually went until Sam's death in February 2nd is when they are saying the date of death. You're welcome, pointer lover. They ended up finding Sam in a field in Yates County, New York. I'm not trying to show you the weather. So what's kind of sick and twisted is they all lived. Let me show you guys where they were. All 7 people, a majority of them, let me say this, were living at a place called Patty's Lodge in Canandaigua, New York. Now, what Patty's Lodge was a DSS, Department of Social Services, housing. I'm trying to see if it'll show you a picture. Yeah, okay. So stop sharing this one. So this was what's called a like where they would send, people that didn't have the money and needed to, stay someplace. Now, let me show you. So this is Patty's Lodge. As you can see, it's not exactly the greatest place to stay in the planet. So Sam was staying with Precious in room 22. Now, Precious has, I believe, 7 children. 2 of those children were living in room 22 with Precious and Sam. Now, the 2 children were ages 7 and 12. This is one of the worst parts. I mean, every part of this case is absolutely hideous, but this is the worst part. One of the worst parts. So what happens next? Here are the suspects charged with this it's maddening. Let's talk about key players. So, in my opinion, today in the indictment, one thing that was shared was that they can't necessarily say that any one of them was actually the ringleader. However, it is pretty much determined that Precious is the ringleader. Now, Precious is right here with the blonde hair. You're welcome, Ava. It's pretty horrific. So, is right here with the blonde hair. She has a lot of people coming forward that she has basically like put through the ringer. I wouldn't be surprised if more things come forward and more people are discovered that she's been at the hand of their murder. Now, I want you to see the next person right here is her name is, I can never say her name, Jennifer Cujano. Okay. She's 30. Now, Precious is 38. Jennifer is 30. Jennifer was actually in a relationship with Precious. Keep in mind, Sam was also in a relationship with Precious. Precious went through women like people go through underwear. I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of. Now, from my understanding, Jennifer isn't exactly, I want to think of she's slower. So I think that, yes, at will, she did this to Sam, but I do think that there's a portion of her that is a little bit like she would have done anything Precious did. Now, next up, this is Kyle Sage. So Kyle Sage actually hits close to home for me, and I'll tell you why. So Kyle Sage was on parole. He is 33. He's the bald guy here. Now, in 2018, they actually just discovered a piece of paper with all of these girls' names on it from 2018. I'm telling you, it would be like label a girl's names and it would say next to it, hot. Or they'd label a girl, he'd put a girl's name and he'd say, follow or something insane like that. And those were all the women he was basically going after. And there was several people in my town that were on that list. In fact, there was a person that actually reported him in 2018 for stalking that I know and harassment, and nothing was ever done. Next up is Patrick Goodwin. Patrick Goodwin is 30. Now, Patrick Goodwin was just released from prison in 2023 after spending almost 10 years in prison for SAing two children. I believe the ages were 5 and 7 or something like that. I know they were under 10. So he was released from prison. So he was on parole. Keep in mind, living at Patty's Lodge. Then next up, we have Emily. These names are like crazy. Emily Matyaga. She was 19. Now, the issue with Emily is she was 19 years old. She's definitely held responsible. But again, she was another one that was dating Precious. Again, I said there was a lot of people dating Precious. And there have been people that dated Precious, and one of them did come forward and say Emily was herself forced to sleep on the bathroom floor without blankets or pillows or anything like that, and that Precious would just say, oh, she's fine, all this kind of stuff. So let's go. Next up, we have the stellar Tommy Eves. He's 21 years old. Now, Tommy is actually Precious's son. It runs in the family. So Tommy, I do know, is one of the ones that, really assaulted her in the S. I can't say it here. So in that format, S. And now I do believe Precious's mom, Shirley, is involved to a point. And we'll talk about that. But however, the next runner-up we have is Kimberly Socia, 29 years old. She is actually the fiance to Patrick Goodwin, who is up in the corner there, that was out on parole for SAing children. Now, I'm getting myself together here. So apparently this alleged abuse. So let's go back. Now, they wouldn't make a comment about this, but they said that in December, Sam did go to DSS and ask for help with vouchers. Now, there's conflicting stories about whether DSS did help him or did not. I, I think I think they probably may have done something, but I don't know. But Sam at that point was probably, pretty brainwashed, pretty in love with Precious, who apparently had many, many girlfriends or boyfriends. So here we are. Let's go over what the indictment said because this is super important. Okay. So and the reason I have it on my phone here. So let's see here. All 7 of them. Okay. Now I want to first, let me back up. I want to talk about, so I believe, as Pointer Lover said, there's going to be more arrests. I truly believe that. I also want to talk about the fact of Precious's mom. I will forever believe she had something to do with it, but I think the problem is they can't prove it. I will say that Shirley, so neighbors claim that Shirley, who's Precious's mom, and Tommy, Precious's son, were seen in late January with with Sam covered in a towel on Sam's head because he had been beaten so bad. From our understanding, the cause of death was due to being just beaten to death with electric cords, sticks. There was some other just physically beaten. There were some other things. So here's what our indictment says. Now, that's right, Wolfie. So the grand jury why can't I say this word? Like, hello, all of the people that we just talked about with murder in the first degree. So if you don't understand like how significant that is the highest charge in New York State, because New York State does not have the death penalty, but I can guarantee you the DA wants to come back with it just for this. So murder in the first degree, as explained by the assistant DA, basically means that you engaged and planned this murder just because you enjoyed it. It's the highest charge you can possibly get in New York State. Now, the assistant DA so they are saying, there's been no evidence this is a hate crime. But what I think came out during the, whether that's true or not, probably part of it, but the reason that they're really not focusing on it being a hate crime is because the charges are greater for something like this than they would be for a hate crime. So now, the defendants on or between the dates of January 1st, 2025, guys, really focus on this because this is huge. January 1st, 2025 and February 2nd, while acting alone or in concert with one another, means that they were either by themselves or they were all together doing this, caused the death of Sam Nordquist and acted in an especially cruel and wanton manner pursuant to a course of conduct intended to inflicting torture upon Sam prior to Sam's death, and each defendant was more than 18 years old. So let's go down. They were also charged, so that's first degree, 1 count, these are all 7 of these people were charged with this, with second degree murder, which means the defendants on or about those dates we talked about while acting alone or in concert with one another under circumstances evincing and depraved indifference to human life, recklessly engaged in conduct which created a grave risk of death. So that's count 3. And I want to go through these because these are going to be so important because we are not done hearing about this case. Like this is going to be, there are going to be things coming out that I think we can't even comprehend. So count 3, all those people were charged kidnapping in the first degree, and that is because there is evidence that Sam was not allowed to leave and was not allowed to have her phone between January 1st and February 2nd. And if she was to leave, somebody was with her, but I don't think she really left. And they restrained her for more than 12 hours with the intent to inflict physical injury. Now, So that was the abduction. Count 5, defendants on or about those dates we talked about, each 18 years or older, agreed with one or more persons to engage or cause the performance of such conduct that at least one of the following overt acts were committed by one of the conspirators in the furtherance of the conspiracy. Okay, trigger warning. Keeping Sam confined, forcing Sam to stand or kneel facing the wall, hitting, kicking, punching, or otherwise physically assaulting Sam, SAing Sam, preventing Sam from using a phone, denying Sam proper nutrition and hydration, forcing Sam to eat feces, forcing Sam to drink urine and drink chew spit, physically restraining Sam, covering Sam with towels, covering his face with towels, shirts, or fabric. Now, we have eyewitness account of that, correct? Sam's mom, towel. Not Sam's mom, I'm so sorry. Precious' mom, she was seen with a towel. So I believe that was true. Count 6. Oh, it gets worse, Ava. All 7 are tried with aggravated SA in the first degree while acting alone or in concert with another, had a foreign object into an area of Sam that was caused actual physical injury based on forcible compulsion. I'll let you kind of take your mind because, yeah, you pretty much know what I'm talking about. I don't want to say it. Basically, yeah, you can do with that what you will. So now the defendant, Precious, is being indicted on coercion in the first degree. This one made me physically ill. The defendant on or about between those dates of January 1st and February 2nd, while acting alone or in concert with another, compelled or induced a person to engage in conduct which the latter has legal right to abstain from engaging in, and when he or she thereby compelled or induced the victim to cause or attempt to cause physical injury to Sam. Then the next charge is the same charge. So there's 2 counts of that. What that means, and as the DA put it, the assistant DA, is that Precious actually not only had her children that were 7 and 12 living there and experienced this, she actively made her children partake in the abuse of Sam. One other thing Sam had done to I'm really sorry to keep saying, is bleach was poured on him. He was confined. He was made to sit up against the wall on his knees for hours. He was made to stand for hours. He was made to sleep in the bathroom for hours. And this has not come out yet, but I believe that there was talk that he was kept in a dog cage. The kids now, from my understanding, this has not been confirmed yet. I've heard a couple stories that they're in state care, but then I've also heard that they're with their father. The lifetime of rehabilitation these children are going to need is beyond what I ever think that we could imagine. It's just crazy. I will say one of the defendants has been the one that has spilled the tea. Like they've just, like everything is coming out. Now on February either 1st Exactly, Ava. Or second, they are charged with concealment of a human corpse. What they did was take Sam by the side of the road in Yates County and put him in a field covered in, I believe it was trash bags or bags of some sort. Count 10 is going to be endangering the welfare of a child, causing physical, knowingly, so while acting alone or in concert with another, knowingly added in a manner likely to be injurious to the physical, mental, and moral welfare of a child less than 17 years old. And count 11, all 7 of them are charged with the same thing for their other child that were involved in this. So this indictment is huge. The other thing I forgot, they covered Sam with the shirts and the fabric. They also used duct tape to tie Sam up, as well as I did believe I heard somewhere ropes. They also poured bleach on Sam, were basically starving him. He had no communication, obviously, with any of his family. He was literally tortured and beat over a month time period, over and over and over, till the point that he was actually beaten to death. We literally cannot comprehend, at least my brain can't, what he went through or what those kids experienced. Um, there are a lot of questions. The assistant DA said that, Patty's Lodge, where they were all staying at this point, is not any type of investigation. I don't know the parole system very well, so I don't quite fully grasp how none of these people were checked on in that period of time. Um, this was all taking place in room 22 of Patty's Lodge, and nothing was ever reported. How can a SA offender that just got out of prison in 2023 not be checked on for a month? I just don't understand how no one heard anything. However, if all these people were the only occupants of room 22 or Patty's Lodge, maybe it is not. So one other thing to note is Emily. Emily is the 19-year-old member that Precious made sleep on the bathroom floor, but also had a relationship with. She is actually related to Kyle Sage, and Kyle Sage is the bald one that was also on parole. Right, Pointer Lover. Nobody ever heard anything. So there was some relation. People asked, were they all related? The DA said, she could not totally confirm that, but no, they weren't all related. It sounded like, but they were all, they did all know each other. How it became the ring that it became, I don't have any idea, but I do not believe we've heard the last of the arrest. The assistant DA said, in other words, it, in no greater terms, did say this is an ongoing investigation. I don't think we've heard the worst of it, which is shocking because this is pretty bad. Sam was laid to rest yesterday with his mom and sister and family. And I do know that his mom and sister were up here at one point when it first happened. There are text conversations that were released where Precious is basically saying, I kicked him out. I have no idea where he is. Definitely you're going to see so many lies that are going to continue to reveal. I don't think that Precious's mom will be arrested, unfortunately. I do think she had knowledge of what was going on. Whether she partook in it or not, I don't know, but I do think she had knowledge of what was going on. And I definitely think that there were more people involved than what we know of. And it's absolutely sick. And I want you to keep in mind is it probably was very much a hate crime, but I think that they're not focusing on like that for the exact reason that the ADA said, because the charges of this are so much greater than that. So if they focus on that, then they can't. I mean, it's probably wisdom. Give them the greatest charge. And like I said, this is the greatest, biggest charge that can be brought in New York State. And what's unfortunate is I've seen very few YouTubers cover it. And I'm kind of shocked because and maybe the reason I know so much about it is because it happened like 20 minutes from where I live. But it's a really big case. It's been on national news and stuff. Like, it's huge. Like, we're not just talking one person had domestic violence. I mean, this poor guy was tortured, and it was like a ring. I mean, these people knowingly knew what they were doing every day, and as the ADA said, enjoyed every minute of it. What is also scary about the situation is that we need to do something about, like, there's all these people with records living in this little rundown hotel and just free and chilling out, and like, it's pretty crazy. They're all just like chilling out, hanging. There's no accountability whatsoever. Like, this was an avoidable crime. And I understand, right? A lot of people are saying, well, Sam was an adult. He could have left. I get that. I get that. And I understand that. But I also can see the side of being so unbelievably brainwashed until it's too late. Okay. So brainwashed to the point of January rolls around and then the abuse starts. What kicked off the abuse? I don't know. They haven't said. Part of me wonders, rumor has it that Precious did not take it well when people started to leave her, like relationships started to end. So my thought is maybe Sam was ready to move on and he was going to go back home, and he was like, I'm going to leave. And then that started it. How she got some of those people on board is insane. I'm not so surprised she got the guys she did on board. It's just pretty insane. Yeah, Pointer Lover. It's got to be shared. But I'm going to be sharing more about it as I keep kind of researching it, figuring it out. I do know that Linda and Kayla, Kayla is the sister. I did just shoot a message to her just to be like, hey, I'm covering it. No need to respond. Just wanted to make sure that you knew I was going to cover it, and that, I'm going to make sure I do everything that can keep it factual, and anything that might be rumor, make sure I state it's rumor. And she hearted it, and that's, all I wanted. I don't need a response from her. And like, at this time, I'm not even monetized right now, guys. So really, it's not about the money for me. But I do know that they are, as the ADA said, that they are pleased with the work of the detectives and the, what's going on now, the charges being filed, and they are happy with that. But they are very tired and overwhelmed, because each day they think that, there's nothing worse, and then something worse comes out, and that they are just really tired of just the emotional exhaustion. And I can't even imagine finding out my family member, much less a sister or a son, is perished in the way that he did. So I do have to get back to work, but I am going to, like I said, be covering it a lot. Is tomorrow Thursday? It is. So I'll probably go live late tomorrow night, and feel free, guys, to send me emails or whatever with information you might find out. And I'm going to make sure that it's covered as much as possible, because I think it's a disservice that it's not being covered. I might even have a friend of mine that lives near Patty's Lodge, like, go over and get, some video of it. But, I appreciate you guys, and thanks for stopping in. And I'm looking forward to, covering this case and getting justice for Sam. Thanks, guys.